Welcome back to another episode of Let Love Be Your Guide. My name is your host, Dominique Chantel, and I will be guiding you through this amazing experience. So today I am so excited to be back with you all. I took a much needed break, and we're about to wrap up for the summer as well. But before we get out of here, I just want to tell you that it has just been such an amazing experience. And I am so happy that I've been able to bring these episodes to you and just present you with my podcast for another dope season. Okay. So I got a couple surprises for you coming down the pike. As you know, this podcast is all about self development. Therefore, when you get into a relationship, when you get into a job, when you get at a table, when you get to a business meeting, when you start your business, whatever you decide to start or go into, you can go into it with full confidence, no um, lacking nothing really. Okay, and we know that we're human, we may falter and fall, but at the end of the day, you have to develop yourself. And I've dedicated again my life, and just to allow you into my circle, into my world, to just give you the information that I have experienced in my life and how it helped me and how I'm still learning things. I'm forever a student. My posture is forever going to be a student, and I forever want to be learning and gleaning. And so in this episode, I'm not going to waste your time. I want to talk about 4 keys to honoring yourself, how you can honor yourself. And I'm so excited because the more we honor ourselves and the more we get into this work of life, right, we actually get to experience it. And it's not about arriving at a destination. So we can always say, I want to get here, I want to get there, I want to get my master's, I want to get the job, I want to go to this place, I want to conquer this, I want to do that. But it's always about when we get there, it's like, okay, what am I going to do next? So life is all about enjoying the experience, taking in the moment, and developing ourselves so that we can enjoy the experience. We can enjoy when we get the dream job. We can enjoy when we get to that place that we've been dreaming about. We can enjoy when we get that spouse that we've been asking God for. We can enjoy the things of life that God has a purpose for us to have. And so that's what this channel is about. Let love be your guide, always leading with love. Okay. So my first point I want to make here, I have my booklet. So is in order to honor yourself, first of all, I want to say the most important relationship that you will have is with your creator, is God. And so God created you. So he is the only one that can set things up in your way and in your favor so that you can prosper and so that you will do well in this life. So I want to go just back, just to saying, if you don't know your purpose, it's important to find that. And I actually have an episode in my podcast about finding your purpose. So go back and look at that episode, check it out, okay? Because it will really help you and bless your life. And so, again, once you know your purpose, you're off to the races. We're heading right to the hills. And so the first thing that you have to do in order to honor yourself is, number one, forgive yourself. And so for me, forgiveness has always been something that I have been able to do easily. And I believe that's because just the way that God designed me. And so I am a loving person. I'm forgiving. If you've ever been in my circle with me, I'm a ride for you. I'm loyal and I'll be there for you. But I'm very forgiving. We've made, once I made up in my mind that I'm going to forgive, and it pretty much happens immediately because I know that I can't go around holding on to things if God's going to bless me. I'm not saying it's easy always on when you're trying to forgive somebody, but it's necessary and it's what you need to do to move on and to be successful and prosperous in this life. And if you want to, be well, if you want to do well, did you know that many cancers, many sicknesses are caused by people not being able to forgive others? And to me, that is so sad. It's a sadness that we have in this world. I remember one time when I was getting my nails done, and it was an Asian guy that was doing my nails, and he said, the number one problem, we were just having this conversation, especially with relationships. He was saying how his sister was unable to forgive, and that's why she ended up in divorce and could never get married again. And she still to this day lives alone. And I thought about that. I'm like, wow, how many people are walking around and they haven't, number one, forgiven themselves, but then they can't forgive other people. So that's the number one thing. You have to learn to forgive yourselves. Let go of things of the past, move into the present. Because God is the ultimate. He gave us forgiveness. So why not? You have to forgive yourself. Okay. So forgive yourself. That's how you honor yourself. The very first thing I always say, you can't give to people what you have not done for yourself. So if you haven't learned to forgive yourself, you can't forgive somebody else. Okay. All right. So next thing, right, is trusting yourself. Okay. So when you learn to trust yourself, hear me out. The way that you learn to trust yourself is that you've spent time alone. You spent a season. I would recommend about 3 months, spending 3 months alone and getting to know what you like, what you dislike, what you want to do, what your purpose is, your future. The minimum I would say is 3 months. Because when you get to know yourself and you are able to build a relationship with yourself, you're internally able to trust yourself. So that means the decisions that you make, number one, when you make a decision, you make it out of your five senses. You make it based off, typically off of emotion. And I have a podcast about that, making decisions out of emotions, and I'm going to talk more about that. But when you trust yourself, you're able to make a decision quicker than somebody who doesn't, who hasn't spent that time alone developing themselves and getting themselves right. I often say a lot of relationships will be avoided if we trusted ourselves, right? Our intuition, that still small voice. A lot of decisions concerning our children would be avoided. A lot of decisions concerning even, our relationships with our parents, our brothers, our sisters, our uncles, our aunts. A lot of things could be avoided if we trusted ourselves, trusted our intuition, because people are going to always tell you what they think, what you should do with your life, what should be going on in your family, what you should do with your money, right? What you should invest in, what you should not invest in, what car you should buy, what school you should go to. But at the end of the day, it's you. It's you who's going to make this decision, and it's you who knows, again, going back to purpose, what God has purpose for your life and what direction that you need to move in. That's why you have to have clarity, and you have to be clear about these things. Hear me when I say this. In order to trust yourself, you have to spend a season alone. And I know we don't want to be alone, but guess what? In order for you to do this thing called life, we have to be able to make decisions on our own and without people and without the influence of others. Because at the end of the day, when we're hooked and connected into what God knows what's best for us, and then we know what's best, He speaks to us, and then we can make a decision, right, off of that. And so you have to know how to trust yourself. And I'm telling you, when you learn to trust yourself and know what you want and know where you're going, decisions, things become clearer. You can go on a straight path. You can make that turn. You can turn around and go back if you need to, because your purpose is clear. You have what you need to do. You know what you need to do. It's clear. It's concise. You're moving in a direction where you need to be moving in. So make sure you trust yourself. Go back and do the self work. Again, minimum 3 months, you know. So this self-development and loving yourself is not an easy task. I'm not telling you it's going to be, but what I will tell you, that it's beneficial to your life, for your life, and you'll start to see the impact of how you can be successful, how you can be living a purposeful life when you have clarity and when you spend some time on your own and by yourself. All right? So trust yourself. That's how you trust yourself. All right? Um Again, always trust yourself, always. All right. Next, honor your mind. The third thing, man, honoring your mind, because your mind is so beautiful. You are such a beautiful, wonderfully made individual. And when I think about the intellect that God has placed down on the inside of each of us and what he has given to us, it's like our mind is the greatest thing that we have. And when we get clear about vision, get clear on purpose, when we honor ourselves by trusting ourselves while we hook into God, who is our creator, we have no choice but to honor our mind. And honoring your mind comes in the form of, I always talk about this, getting your affirmations, getting up in the morning, setting a routine, being positive about things, about outcomes. I'm not saying that life is not going to come, right, and you're not going to experience negative things and negativity, but your mindset, honoring your mind and having affirmations set up in your mind will help you combat the daily struggles of life, the daily negative thinking, the daily doubts of life, because we're all going to have that negativity. We're all going to have that. The human mind is conditioned to go to the negative, to always think on the negative, because we're in survival mode. Okay. But that's where, again, God tells us to renew your mind each day. Renew your mind so that you can be open to all of the possibilities that he has for us. So honor your mind. Okay. And you do that by getting your affirmations together, speaking affirmations over yourself. You do that by honoring your vision, your purpose, honoring also just the way you think is unique. There is nobody like you in the world that God created. You are the only you. Think about that. And I want to talk about this a little bit and I'll go into it. But when we compare ourselves to others, when we put comparison, it's like telling God that the way you made me is not good enough. That's what you're telling God when we compare our lives. Because here's the thing, nobody can get what you can bring. Let me say that differently. Nobody can bring to this world what you can bring, the way you can bring it, how you can bring it. And so it's important to tap into who you are as an individual. And that's when you honor your mind, when you know that you're uniquely designed for what God has put in you to do, your purpose. There's nobody else that can take what's yours. Nobody. I'm here to tell you. Newsflash, PSA. Nobody can take what you have and what you possess and what you God put you in this world to do. And so when we compare ourselves to others, again, we take away the uniqueness of who we are. We take away of the fact that God designed us to go on our own path, because he designed it to where the way you think, he knows how to maneuver and move and get you and push you to open the business, to start the business, to go on and continue in the school, to get the promotion, to move up in your job, to move up the ladder, to make the right connections, to connect with the right people. Come on now. Okay. So there's nobody like you in the world. So tap into who you are and honor yourself. Honor your mind. You are unique. There is not another creation on earth like you. So I want to say that because it's hard to sometimes not get hung up on, oh, they have that, or they're doing this, or they're doing that, but they're doing it. God created them to do that. So let them do their thing. Somebody else doing their thing, and don't take away from you doing your thing and getting what God has for you. What God has for you is for you. What God has for me, it is for me. Okay, so honor your mind. Honor your mind. All right. Lastly, but not least, the last thing is, in honoring in your mind, honor your work. Honor what you do. I posted in the reel that it's not about what you do. Your work is not about, it's not about what you do, but honor your work. The things that you put out into this world. Honor that in yourself. Know that you are the person to do it, that you can uniquely do this creation. You designed this. You put together this project, this presentation. Honor your work. You are doing an amazing job. Only you can do this presentation like this. Matter of fact, the reason why the company hired you, I'm going to tell you, is because of the way you do your work. Honor your work, honor what you do. Because at the end of the day, that is the very thing that God has put into you to bring out into this world, for you to manifest into what He has got, the connections, who you are, what you're doing. You have to make sure you are honoring what you are doing, what you are putting out into this world. You are lifting yourself up. You are going the extra mile. You are committing to excellence. You are diving in and just doing what you know how to do. And be confident in that space and move, because God sent you here to do that thing. And those are the keys to honoring yourself. And don't let anybody talk you out of it. Do your best and know when you put forth your best effort, excellence always ensues. There is excellence on the inside of you and me that God wants to come out and wants to infiltrate this earth with. You are the light, but we have to learn to do these things if we want to move forward and be prosperous and want to walk in purpose and be successful. We have to continually, again, the first thing is we have to forgive ourselves. Secondly, you have to trust yourself. You do that by, again, walking, walking alone for a season. You have to honor your mind. And then lastly, honoring your work. What you do is important. We need you on this earth because what you got, people need. But I want to dive deeper. And so I'm going to be putting out courses in order to dive deeper into these different things, because, again, a 20 to 30-minute podcast or me talking about it just won't do it justice. But I want to make sure that you're getting everything that you need in order to be successful in this life. But again, this is just a start. This is just the beginning. So make sure that you honor yourself. And again, I want to make sure that I get this message to as many people as possible. So if you like this message or this helped you in some way, do me a favor and share this with somebody else and subscribe so that when another podcast comes out, you're the first to get the notification. May you always be believing so that you may always be receiving. And may you always let love be your guide in life today, forever, and always. Love you. Till next time.